Hi guys, welcome to the channel. Today we are going to learn how to turn a straight sketch pattern into an A shape. So I've already drafted the front and the back pattern of my sketch. This is the back pattern and it looks like this because I did it with both allocation method. So that's why it looks like the two sides are hip, but the side I'm pointing to is the zipper allowance, 1 inch zipper allowance, and this is the front. So these are the two patterns we are going to use to turn the straight sketch into an A-shape skirt. If it's something you're willing to, kindly like and subscribe to the channel. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to from my knee line, I'm going to come up by 5 inches. I've already marked it there. From my knee line, I'm going to come up by 5 inches and just use a ruler to roll it across. From my knee line, I come up by 5 inches and I use a ruler to roll it across. Can you see what I'm doing? Yeah. So I'm going to do the same for the back skirt pattern also. I'm going to come up by 5 inches also from my knee line, come up by 5 inch and roll it. However, you might, if you want it to be very full, you might come up more than that. Some people come up by 8 inches, but I'm managing fabric here, so I'm using 5 inches. The higher you go, the fuller the down part of the skirt will be. So I've come up by 5. So this is the back skirt pattern. Meanwhile, when I drafted it, I only added zipper allowance. I've not added allowance for the side seam. I haven't. So the only allowance I added was zipper allowance for the back. So it is when I've transferred to fabric, I'm going to I'm going to add my zipper allowance, my sewing allowance to the back. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to divide that line by 2. I've divided it. Then I'm going to rule a straight line across. Just going to rule it down. I mean that line that will came up by 5 inches, you are going to divide it into 2. Then you now rule a straight line across. Can you see it? I've done it for the back. So I'm going to do the exact same thing I've done. I'm going to check the whole measurement of that line. I'll divide it by 2 exactly. Then use my ruler to connect it to the down part. Now that I've done that, the next thing for us to do is to split it into 2 now. For the front, you're only splitting to the side. You're not splitting on the two sides. So you're only splitting on the hip part, the side of the pattern. That's when you're splitting it to. You see what I'm saying now? So you split it open. Just split it open. So when you get to the point, split it to the side, please. Oh, not the two sides. Just not the middle and the side, just the side of the skirt pattern. So just split it open. By the time you cut it, remain small so that the pattern paper will not divide into 2. Can you see what I'm doing? Just small, so the pattern paper will not divide. So you can open it up. Do you see? You can see now that we are getting our A-line skirt pattern. Just open it up and you will get it. So I'm going to put the front part aside now. Then I'm going to do this exact same thing for the back. However, for the back, I want the middle, the center back to be very full. So I'm going to split it both ways. So I'm going to split it both ways so that the center back will have this fullness. And if you are willing to add tail too, this is the point where you do it. Do you understand? So I'm going to split it open. However, unlike the front, I'm going to split it two sides, both the center back and the side back. I'm doing for the center back now. Can you see it? I'll split it to almost the end, but I'll try so that the paper will not separate into 2. Then I'm going to do the same for the other side too. I'm going to open it up. I'll open it up gradually. Can you see what I'm doing? Exactly. Just be careful so the paper will not, you will remain a tiny piece. Can you see it? By the time you open it, when you are done, you will discover that there will be fullness at the back. Do you understand? So the higher you go, the higher you move up, the fuller the down part of your skirt is. It is very, very simple. So I'm going to put this aside now. I've arranged it on my fabric. I arranged it on fold. This is the front part. I've arranged it on fold. Can you see it? Don't mind me that I use different things to secure it. I just don't want it to move. Now I'm going to add my side seam allowance. I'm adding 1 inch throughout. So that's what I'm trying to do now. So I'll add 1 inch by the side, which is very sufficient for me. I don't like having, if it's customer now, I can add more, but for it, since it's for me, I'm only adding 1 inch. Then I'm also going to add I'm also going to add 0.5 inch at the top part of this pattern. So I'm adding 1 inch. So I'll add it all round, and I'm going to add 0.5 inch sewing allowance at the top part of this lace. Then I can now cut it out. If you notice now, you can see that we've already gotten our A shape pattern. Can you see it? So sorry, I didn't know that that first part is away from the camera, just but I'm just cutting it out. See, I've cut it. I replaced the edge of the lace. I've replaced it back. Can you see it? So I'll just cut it with my allowance, my 1 inch allowance in two. Can you see it? So I'll just cut it out. Add half inch top part of it, and we are done with the front part. Can you see what I'm saying? Now you can see that we already have our inline skirt. So assuming I went higher than the 5 inches I went to, the down part will be very, very full. But because I'm managing fabrics, this is how it is. So let's go to the back pattern now. I've arranged the back. I folded the lace into two, same with the way I did for the front. However, for this, the pattern will be at the middle because we are opening both sides. We are opening both sides such that when we are done, the center back will be very full. I'm going to add my 1 inch allowance like I did for the front part. Add it throughout. Then I'm going to add 0.5 inch at the top. Now this 1 inch I'm adding here is for the side. Please don't make mistake. It's for the side. I've already added my zipper allowance, so I don't need to add another allowance. So I'm only adding allowance by the side 1 inch. So I'll cut it out. I've removed it. I'm going to replace it. I'm going to replace that part with the edge. That one is too small. So I'm going to replace it with a bigger lace, edge of the lace fabric. But I want to cut out the back pattern. That is for the side. Can you see it? You might not know you might not really see the chalk, but I can see it. So in order for me not to forget, I quickly decided to cut out the edge, that lace edge that I cut away when I was cutting it. I want to replace it now. So by the time I'm done, round the lace, there will be lace edge. One side will not be longer than the other side. Can you see it? I've replaced it. So this is how it's going to be for both sides. So now that I've replaced it, I can go ahead and continue cutting out my pattern. I've cut it out. I'm cutting the other side. I didn't know it was away from the camera. However, I just cut it exactly the way you cut it on paper. Don't add any allowance because we've already added allowance on the zipper side. Can you see it? I will just cut it out. So by the time you are done, when you want to make it, you will discover that your lace, the center back will be full also. So I did exactly what I did here. I cut out that lace and I'm replacing it with the edge of the lace. So it will be okay. Now that I'm done, I'm going to take out my pattern and you're going to see it. Can you see? Now I want to notch the top part so that we know where the zipper allowance is because I'm always confused, especially when I do this both allocation method. I'm always very confused, so I need to notch it. And you can see how beautiful our A-line skirt looks. Can you see it? Thank you very much. Kindly like, subscribe, and share this video. Bye bye.